On September 11th, America attack of the worst kind. Innocent lives were lost, and a sad cloud was cast over this great nation. These acts were intended to cause fear among all Americans, including our children. But we cannot let that happen. There are things we can do to help our kids. Talk with them, listen to them, tell them they're safe and that they're loved. God bless you, and God bless America.
Do you want complete coverage of local, state, national, and international news as it happens?
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to TV5 News Live.
Then tune in to Clarion's very own TV5 News Live for complete coverage of the Clarion area and our world. TV5 News crews join with crews from the world's news leader, CNN, to provide complete coverage of the day's events. With advanced satellite capabilities, TV5 News can bring you the latest news that happens. So tune in every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday evenings for Clarion's very own TV5 News Live. February 5th, 2002. I'm Kelly Snow. Today on T5 News Live Update, it's really cold outside all day. Tonight, the weather has not gotten warm. So what's to the rest of the week? T5's own Kelly Martin is on Main Street with the weather. Kelly?
Thanks, Kelly. Today in Clarion with exceptionally cool temperatures. Currently the temperature is 26, it feels like 14 degrees outside. The wind is about 20 miles per hour coming from the west coast. Cool conditions are considered to continue throughout the week. However, snow is unlikely until the end. Throughout the nation, everyone had lows. Let's go take a look at the 5-day forecast to see what to expect in the days to come. Wednesday, high 39, low 28, partly cloudy. Thursday, high 44, low 23, partly cloudy. Friday, high 42, low 28, partly cloudy. Saturday, high 47, low 30, mostly cloudy. Sunday, high 34, low 24, snow showers. Live on Greenville Avenue, Kelly Martin, TV5 weather. Back to you in the studio, Kelly. Hope you're nice and warm.
There you go.
Saturday was Groundhog Day, so is winter over? With all the cold weather, most would tend to believe no. And that's exactly what Punxsutawney Phil said when he saw his shadow at Gobbler's Knob Saturday morning, and that means 6 more weeks of winter. German folklore says, if an animal sees its shadow on February 2nd, then bad weather is in store. Lots of folks right here in Clarion made the trip to Punxsutawney to see Phil. Our own Mark Despotakis was one of them. You can see his story tomorrow on TV5 News Live at 7. But right now, TV5's own Mark Despotakis is at the Clarion Free Library, where Borough Council has just ended, and is here now with a recap of tonight's meeting. Mark?
Thank you, Kelly. We are here live at the Clarion Free Library. Clarion Borough Council just wrapped up a few minutes ago. You saw the meeting live here on TV5. Let me go ahead and apologize for some of the technical difficulties you may have seen earlier in the program with the audio. Got that all straightened out for you. One of the big things that you did see, if you watched the entire meeting, was a talk of crosswalks. And PennDOT's going to be looking into putting a crosswalk by Nair and Wilkinson Hall on the Clarion University campus to the parking lot right across the street. Also some talk based on a letter received to some members of council about crosswalks in the business district and jaywalking in the business district. So joining me now is council member Rich Herman, who kind of talked a good bit about this in the meeting, and a lot of discussion of crosswalks tonight, especially in the business district, people jaywalking, how cars are supposed to react. What's the message to people in the borough about this, be they a pedestrian or the car driver?
Well, I think, Mark, one of the main things that we're trying to get across, there have been some pedestrian crosswalks, even new ones we put in. We were talking about off the air, where there's a new pedestrian crosswalk across from Tip and Jim on Greenville Avenue. There's the one right here in front of the post office. There are a couple more up in town. And now the university is thinking about building another parking lot on what would be the north side of Main Street across from near Wilkinson Hall, and then building a crosswalk to come across, onto the parking lot area there. And one of the things that we're looking at is safety in the crosswalks, which really needs to be a factor, because lighting certainly at that crosswalk, that East Main Street tendency to have very fast traffic on, and Greenville Avenue. And so on one light, we're concerned a little bit about, in those particular crosswalks, about adequate lighting, making sure that a student trying to cross there wouldn't be struck, that it would be adequately lighted. And just from my own feeling and looking even at Greenville tonight, and as people come up down there, the one in front of, or by Tip and Jim, it's not well lighted. It could be better lighted. It's something we're going to maybe take a look at. But the ones in town, we have people trying to cross, and I think the thing that Earl was trying to get across, and the chief was trying to get across, and I'm certainly trying to get across, when someone comes to the threshold of a crosswalk and steps down off the curb and is obviously entering the crosswalk, they've crossed that threshold and they're now entering the crosswalk. That means they're now a pedestrian waiting to cross the crosswalk. By law, a motor vehicle has to stop to let that pedestrian cross the walk. It's not happening. We're in danger of pedestrians getting hit in the crosswalk. Some people are afraid to come into the crosswalk or take a step out to the crosswalk because they're not being recognized, so they're afraid of being struck, and I can understand that. So we're really urging, the borough residents, couldn't they be a little bit more particular about obeying that and letting those people who are out right now, especially in this cold weather, get to cross the crosswalks and get them on their way. We can't be in that much of a hurry in our cars that we can't stop for 5 seconds to let someone cross the crosswalk.
All right, Rich, thank you very much. Thanks for talking to me. So that was big tonight, as we said. Crosswalks, and PennDOT is going to be looking into the crosswalk down there on 322 by Nair and Wilkinson Hall, going over to that parking lot. And like Rich said, so there is sometimes some speedy traffic. One other thing tonight in the manager's report, Carol Lopinto talked about the Council of Governments that's talked about being formed in some portions of the county, and it doesn't look like Clarion Borough is going to be joining that Council of Governments because there is already what's called joint purchasing here in the borough. TV5's Autumn Gels is here at the Borough Council meeting. She will have a complete wrap of the meeting for you tomorrow night on TV5 News Live at 7. For now, reporting live from the Clarion Free Library, Mark Despotakis, TV5 News. Kelly, back to you.
President Bush made a visit to Pittsburgh today. He discussed his plans for combating bioterrorism. Homeland Security Director Tom Ridge, Pennsylvania's former governor, accompanying the president. They toured the University of Pittsburgh Medical Center and addressed an audience of doctors and other healthcare professionals.
Former Enron CEO Kenneth Lay ducked appearances before House and Senate committees on Monday, but he won't dodge the hot seat much longer.
We have issued a subpoena that will compel his attendance.
Democrats and Republicans on the Senate Commerce Committee voted unanimously to subpoena Lay. But that doesn't mean Lay will actually tell what he knows about the Enron collapse.
We can compel him to appear, but we can't require him to testify.
And many on Capitol Hill believe Lay will cite his Fifth Amendment rights and refuse to testify.
What we found...
TV5 apologizes for the technical difficulties we have been experiencing all night. Now back to the news. How does your area high school feel about wearing the Confederate flag? Well, Hempfield Area High School doesn't like it. A student attending Hempfield High School was suspended after he refused to remove his hat that carried the Confederate flag. School officials warned the student once before he was punished. The student will be returned to school on Thursday with no other punishment slated. Attorney for former Enron chief Kenneth Lay says he will appear before the House Financial Services Committee a week from Thursday. Senate and House panels are chomping at the bit to question Lay about what caused the collapse of Enron. Skip Lozier has the latest from Washington.
Former Enron CEO Kenneth Lay ducked appearances before House and Senate committees on Monday, but he won't dodge the hot seat much longer.
We have issued a subpoena that will compel his attendance.
Democrats and Republicans on the Senate Commerce Committee voted unanimously to subpoena Lay. But that doesn't mean Lay will actually tell what he knows about the Enron collapse.
We can compel him to appear, but we can't require him to testify.
And many on Capitol Hill believe Lay will cite his Fifth Amendment rights and refuse to testify.
What we found was appalling.
University of Texas Law School Dean William Powers headed an investigation commissioned by Enron's board of directors. He blames top management for most of Enron's problems.
Everyone understood that the company was seeking to offset its investment losses with its own stock. That's not the way it's supposed to work.
While top Enron stock made a financial killing, Rank-and-file workers prohibited from selling their stock lost a bundle.
We received nothing.
And many employees blame Lay.
He just didn't oversee the things that he needed to for his employees.
He has to take responsibility, and the truth needs to be told.
Lay is likely to appear before a Senate committee a week from today and before a House committee 2 days later. In Washington, I'm Skip Loescher.
That's all for this edition of TV5 News Live Update. Join us tomorrow with Grace and Jackie Nealon. For everyone here at TV5 News, I'm Kelly Esno. Good night.